Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe and help me hit that 5,000 subscriber mark. In our first story, a Choosing Beggar coworker throws a party for himself and then afterwards wants to collect cash for it. Let's jump right in. Hey guys and gals and non-binary pals. Obligatory, this is not my story but my brother's. They told me this story a month ago and I thought it would fit so perfectly here. Also, there will be no cursing on the off chance Hugo's owner reads this. So my brother Miguel works at a children's entertainment place as a security guard, and this is their experience with an entitled coworker. So entitled coworker one day approached Miguel and two other coworkers who were Miguel's friends and asked them to go to his house for his birthday. Now Miguel and his friends Nathan and Isa haven't really spoken to the entitled coworker in all the time they work there, but Miguel, Nathan, and Isa figured it would be the nice thing to do, and they go. Miguel was honestly just excited to go since he loves parties. That same day, entitled coworker put in his 2 weeks notice. Miguel was confused as to whether they were still invited to the party, but the entitled coworker reaffirmed that they were still invited even if they were no longer going to see him at work again after the party. A week and a half passes by and it's the day of the entitled coworker's birthday party. Before the party, Miguel goes to get the entitled coworker a gift that was about $20. That's important for later on. When Miguel arrives at the party and gives the entitled coworker their gift, he sees that he was the only one who had brought a gift. Though, because entitled coworker said it was a party, I can understand why no one else brought a gift, especially since no one else was really close to him, but still, yikes. After giving the gift, Miguel enters the party and sees his two friends. He sees only his friends. With the exception of entitled coworker's girlfriend, Miguel and his two coworkers were the only ones who showed up. Nonetheless, they still had hope that it was going to be a fun party. Throughout the party, the entitled coworker ignored Miguel and his friends. For almost the entire party, he ignored Miguel and his friends and only talked to his girlfriend. So they put on a movie. I can't remember which movie it was. After the movie, the entitled coworker continued to ignore Miguel and his friends. They were really at a loss what to do until Nathan suggested that they should play Among Us to make things less awkward. Everybody was included, however, entitled coworker just continued to talk to his girlfriend and ignored his guests while they played. After a few rounds, the entitled coworker suddenly said that everybody should begin to leave. Before everyone left, the entitled coworker's father insisted that they take leftovers. Since Miguel and Isa are Hispanic, it's the custom to take leftovers after any get-together, so the host doesn't have extra food to worry about. They didn't take much, only what they felt was appropriate. Afterwards, they discussed just how weird the party was and also how strange that they were so abruptly kicked out. But they just figured it was getting late or perhaps the entitled coworker had something else to do. The next day at work, Miguel goes to approach the entitled coworker. He finds that the entitled coworker is bashing Miguel and his friends for how they behaved at the party. He said that it was rude to play a game while at the party. What the flip? You're the host. You're supposed to be entertaining your guests. It is your party. The entitled coworker also went on to say that he thought it was rude that Miguel and Isa took food after the party. Like his father said that they could. The entitled coworker completely ruined any good image he had with the people at that job. Nathan was about to go off on the entitled coworker, but Miguel and Isa just reminded him that the entitled coworker would be gone in 3 days, never to be seen again, and to just let it go. On the entitled coworker's last day, he came up to Miguel and Isa and asked for $15 from each person for the pizza they ate at his party. Luckily, Nathan wasn't working that day because he would have exploded. Not knowing what to say, they both confusingly said yes. The next day, the entitled coworker sent everybody a Cash App request for the food money. I told Miguel that he should have paid it, but only if the entitled coworker sent back the money for the gift he bought, which was more. After our mother heard the story, she suggested paying back the money with the caption, "This is what you're worth." Truly savage. However, Miguel, being ever more graceful than the entitled coworker could ever be, just blocked him on every platform. Nathan and Issa did the same. There was one last thing that the entitled coworker did on his last day. Earlier this year, Marco, a friend of Miguel and I who used to work there, quit due to the pandemic. Now, everybody loved Marco. He could light up a room when he walked in. Everybody was so sad to see Marco go, but to remember him, somebody had brought in cupcakes for him on his last day. Marco, wanting to share the cupcakes with everybody, brought cupcakes of his own and gave one to everybody. Nobody has ever brought in cupcakes before then or since, even when a lot of people have quit because of the pandemic. Marco was the exception because he was such a great person, and he brought some of them in himself. So, right before the entitled coworker left on his last day, he publicly said to his team, "I am very disappointed that on my last day, nobody brought me cupcakes." Then he left. Everybody was just left stunned and speechless, completely baffled by what he had just said. Now, that is how you leave a job with no class, dignity, or friends. Shameful. In story number 2, we have the tale of a choosing beggar husband and his path to redemption. My spouse, who's a 28-year-old male, used to be a really bad choosing beggar. We'll call him Tim. Tim grew up in another country where bargaining and lowballing merchants and sellers is a very common practice, and it's something he would still try here in the US. For example, he likes purchasing used items, but only wants top quality and name brand items. He'll make a decent offer to the seller, then when he picks up the item, he starts with the begging. "Would you please be willing to take half of the original price? Come on, both me and my wife are just poor college students. I'm sure I could find it newer and cheaper elsewhere." Finally, he changed when our car's transmission went out. Tim has been going to the same mechanic ever since he came to the US, which is about 9-ish years ago. Tim, as always, tries to negotiate with the mechanic over the price, and at one point basically starts begging. The mechanic is actually being very patient with Tim, and is explaining that a new transmission is simply a really pricey part, and Tim only wants a new transmission. He's not willing to buy a used one. So Tim pulls out the big guns. He threatens to never return to this repair shop and that he'll go to a competing mechanic instead. When the mechanic still says no, Tim really walks away from the shop. He is going to find a better deal with another mechanic. Of course, no shop is willing to even match this mechanic's quote, much less offer him anything lower to replace a transmission. So Tim sucks it up and returns to the original mechanic, and the mechanic flat out turns him away. Surprisingly, Tim offers to pay more than the original quote to get the transmission replaced. The mechanic apologizes to Tim, but he firmly says no. Ever since then, Tim has been much more conscious about respecting people's prices and negotiating appropriately. In our final story today, a choosing beggar doesn't want one whole pizza, he wants two. Ever since I moved to my new area, I've been trying my best to be nice to everyone since I know this whole situation sucks, and we never know what people are going through. I've always made it a point to offer food when people ask for money. This way I know it'll go to food, and usually they always take any type of help. Well, I guess I was wrong. I wanted to get an acai bowl nearby and was approached by a man almost 2 feet taller than me. He surprised me, but handed me a card. It said he was deaf and needed as much help as I can give. I signed to him that I didn't have cash, I barely passed my ASL class to be quite honest, but I did offer to get him a pizza, since the pizza shop is right next to the shop I'm trying to go to. We both walk up to the pizza shop, though his face shows disappointment. Nope, he didn't even open the door for me. No matter, maybe he's trying to be cautious because of the pandemic. Nope, he didn't even acknowledge me as he looked at the menu, and then spoke to the cashier. Bright as day, no signing, nothing. We all wore masks, so there was no way he couldn't have heard him. At this point, I was beet red. I paid for the pizza and stormed out. I got my darn food and started driving off the parking lot, only to find him walking around the parking lot yet again. I roll my window down and try to ask him if he got his pizza. He handed me the card again. This man forgot I paid for him just 10 seconds ago. I was shocked, and to this he asked me, "You only got me one. Can you get me two?" I flipped him off and drove out of there. That was it for me. No more good deeds. I'm tired of this society. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then please hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one.